Hello, I'm Professor Good, and welcome to Biology 110 Live Science. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the course and hit the highlights on how to get started. So here I am on the Canvas site for this course and what we call the home page. If you scroll down, you can see information about me, things like my email address, how the course works, etc. The next tab located on the left is the syllabus. I highly recommend that you read the syllabus carefully, and I also recommend you print it out at least the last few pages, which has all of the assignments and their due dates. Announcements will be posted once the course has started. These will also be emailed to you if you have that set up in Canvas. I highly recommend you add notifications for this course so that you're aware of what's happening. Most of the time, you're going to be in the modules. So we're going to click on modules on the left. And this is where all the content is for the course. The first module is going to be Canvas and ICC resources. So depending on how familiar with Canvas you are, you may or may not need to use any of these. It also has resources such as the Academic Support Center, which provides free tutoring, the Testing Center, etc. We're going to begin with the Welcome Start Here. So in this module, you're going to see the lab manual. It is also located in the lab kit. This is a lab course, and you're going to purchase the lab kit from the ICC bookstore. I recommend that you use the physical copy of the lab manual, but if you want to use the digital one, it is located here. The syllabus is also located here in the Start Here module. Then I have some FAQs for lecture and lab and some tips on how to complete the assignments in this course. Red shelf is only going to be needed, and so you only need to click on that if you are going to purchase your materials elsewhere. I don't recommend clicking on that because you'll be paying a higher price if you get it somewhere besides through ICC. I will explain that in the Nearpod syllabus, which we'll get to. All right, so I said this word Nearpod, and you may be like, I don't know what Nearpod is. Nearpod is a free program that we are going to use for lecture and a little bit of lab material. If you're unfamiliar with Nearpod, here are some tips. The first 5 or 6, these are videos that I have created. You don't need to actually watch these separately. They're going to be in our first assignment, which is an orientation assignment. But if later in the semester, you're having a question about something, you could go back and click on just one of these videos. Also in this module, there's assistance on how to use Proctorio. If you get stuck with McGraw-Hill, meaning you can't get one of your assignments to work, then those would be the places to. You're going to do Nearpod, which I'm going to explain in just a second, as your first assignment. But before you begin, here are some things to kind of note. So basically just read through the modules. All right, so here we are at our first set of assignments. So this is where you're going to go first. You're going to click. So now let's get started on the first assignment. You're going to click on the orientation Nearpod, which is worth 10 points. And you're going to read the information as far as the instructions, and you're going to click on the link. This is going to take you to Nearpod. It will probably prompt you to sign in. And in order to do that, you're going to click Sign in with Microsoft. That's your ICC email. That's an @icc.edu. You're no longer using the @lab. Do not sign in using Google or a personal email. Once you've signed in, it might auto-generate your name. If not, you may need to fill in your name and then click Continue and start the Nearpod. That is the first assignment. After you've completed the orientation Nearpod, the next thing you should do is click the Proctorio orientation video. It's about 2 minutes. Watch the video and then take your first proctored assignment, which is the orientation quiz over how to use Proctorio. Hope that helps. Please email me if you have any questions. Let's have a great semester.